And right now we'll talk to the St. John's coach, Steve Lavin. Steve, welcome. How are you?
Good, Mike. How are you doing?
Good. How's the team doing?
Good. 4-1. Of course, as a coach, you're never happy. I wish we were 5-0, but we dropped one to Wisconsin.
Not an easy game. Not an easy game. Not an easy team to play in November, Wisconsin.
No, and everyone that's played them thus far has lost, and that's why they're top 10 in the country. But I think we gleaned some important things from that game, and allows you to go back to work, do the drill work and practice to improve your team. So really, when you play a quality team early like Wisconsin, it's the equivalent of a report card to get a sense of where you are as a team. So we're a work in progress, and as I've said all along, I think we're a team that may find its stride late January, mid-February. I think we can do some damage along the line between now and then. We may surprise people. Most people have us picked 5th, 6th, or 7th in the Big East. But I think by February we may sneak up on some people.
How do you think the new league is going to be treated, Steve? What do you think the feeling is? I mean, the Big East was always the equal of any league in the country. We know that. I mean, it never had to take a backseat to anybody in basketball. How is this league viewed? How tough do people think this league is right now?
I think ultimately it'll come down to the NCAA tournament and how teams perform in the postseason. So regardless of how people feel about us now, what matters most is what happens in March. As you know, November, December for show, but March is for dough. Just like the horse racing, it's in the racing form, and it's all about delivering, getting W's. So if our conference performs well in the postseason, then I think we'll have a strong reputation moving forward. And if we struggle or we stumble, then we're going to have our challenges. But that's the case for every conference in the country. It's cyclical, as you know. Some years the ACC is strong on the top, but awful in the middle and at the bottom. Same thing for the Pac-10. They've had strong years or cycles. When you look back at the 90s, they were very strong with UCLA's title in 95, Arizona's in 97, and Stanford in the Final Four in 98. But now the Pac-10 has struggled as of late. So I think at the end of the day, the Big East has all the important elements to be a strong conference. They got tradition. They got good coaches. They got great fan bases. We've got good urban centers in terms of media coverage. Now a good partnership with Fox as well in terms of exposure. So I think all the things are there to be a strong conference.
Yeah, and I think the teams that are new to the conference are going to be good. I mean, Creighton is a good basketball school and is a good team right now. Xavier's been a very underrated, really one of the more underrated teams in the country and programs in the country. The question would be what Butler's going to be without their coach, whether they can maintain that level they had achieved where they had become such a wonderful program. Can they stay there, or was it really driven by him? That's going to be the interesting thing with Butler.
They do have a track record even prior to Brad Stevens, not to take anything away from him, but similar to Gonzaga's program, where you go way back to Dan Munson and the run he had, then Mark Few, took the baton and has run with it. And if you look at Xavier as well with Pete Gillen.
Yeah, Xavier's a good program, very good. Yeah. And so's Creighton, very good program.
Yep, and Thad Matta, and of course, they've continued to do well. So I think Butler, if you go back to Barry Collier and then Thad Matta, Todd Licklider, and of course Brad Stevens most recently, they all had tremendous success at Butler. So there's no reason they can't continue to be successful, which will help our league because the high tide rises all ships. You want all the homes in your neighborhood, your zip code, to have value, and I think that's what the Big East has. It's a strong neighborhood of many Catholic schools, but also schools with tradition, heritage, strong recruiting bases, and media centers as well, which helps.
Talking with Steve Lavin, the St. John's coach, coming off a win last night, 4-1 in the early season. And one of the nice things is that you guys will, one of the things people didn't want to see was Syracuse not be in the mix here. And the fact that at least you guys are going to play at the Garden in December. And it'd be good if you can somehow keep Syracuse on the schedule every year. Because you know what? People will miss Syracuse if Syracuse is not on the schedule. That would be nice. I don't know that you can achieve it in the long run, but if you can, it would be a big thing,
Yeah, and there's no reason not to. I have a strong relationship with Jim and Julie Boeheim. Coach Boeheim and I are both cancer survivors. We both champion the cause to find a cure for cancer and raise dollars for cancer. And most importantly, it's a great matchup. There's interest. Naturally, TV is going to want to be there to cover it. Up in the Dome, you've got a great venue, and we're in the Garden. It's an outstanding venue. And, of course, it's a good rivalry as well. So there's no reason that we shouldn't continue, and that's the plan. I think both administrations, both athletic directors, and both head coaches want to see the series continue.
All right, last night, I don't know much about Longwood, but last night you blocked a ton of shots. We know Harrison had an off night, but we know how he can score. What is the difference? What I know this team is going to be more experienced and be deeper. Where is this team going to be a whole lot better this year?
I think our depth, our versatility, with the addition of Orlando Sanchez, a 6'9" player who can play 5 positions, he's unique for his size to have a skill set to play 1 through 5 and also guard 1 through 5 on the defensive side of the ball. And he's 24 years old, so his maturity is a factor, his physicality. And, of course, as you mentioned, we have that nucleus from the 2 straight top 10 recruiting classes, number 3 in the country and number 8 in the country. And then here comes Rashid Jordan, an outstanding freshman who's going to only improve with each practice and game. And that's why I really feel come February we're a team that might find our stride. Even though we've been picked 5th, 6th, and 7th in the bottom half of the league, I think we might sneak up on some folks, surprise people, maybe exceed expectations from what some of the experts think.
Can this be, in your mind, an NCAA tournament team this year?
Oh, no doubt about it. That's our goal. That's our objective, is to win 20-plus games. And as you know, last year, 17 and 16, that was a step in the right direction. First postseason victory we've had in over a decade at St. Joe's. And it's important your kids get their feet wet. It's a process, as you know, kind of step-by-step building blocks when you try and return a program like St. John's to its rightful place as the crown jewel of New York City when it comes to college basketball. We knew we had our work cut out for us. The first goal was to make us an attractive destination once again for the elite level players, hence the 3 straight top 10 recruiting classes. Then it's about shaping and developing your players and establishing standards, building a culture. And we feel we're ready for that breakthrough to make the tournament and give ourselves a chance to do something special come March and give our fans something they can be proud of in terms of a winning brand of basketball that we can put on the floor on a nightly basis.